Hi, guys, and welcome to the Jinn and Tonic show. I'm your host, Moose, and this is my producer, Nick. Our main discussion is about Islam in the 21st century. However, we will critique other religions and ideologies. We condemn any form of discrimination, violence, misogyny, slavery. We do, however, embrace many perspectives and free speech if it is factual and correct, and not based on any hate. Throughout the show, we will be exploring different religious beliefs, practices, and their impact on society, ranging from politics, interpersonal relationships, and mental health of believers and non-believers. We hope to create an open dialogue for those who feel they're not heard, especially those who have doubts and have left their belief systems. If you are interested in exploring the complex topic of religion and wish to be part of an honest and open dialogue, this is the show for you. We also welcome feedback and discussion from our audience and listeners. The Gin and Tonic Show is a free speech platform where you can express your ideas without any fear of violence and repercussions or any consequences. Please do join our discussion in the live chat as well as the comments. Thank you for stopping by and enjoy the Gin and Tonic Show.
Good evening, hello, and welcome to the Gin and Tonic Show. Happy holidays. It's offensive to Christmas. Welcome back, Nick, or Nikhil, as I should say.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Boy, okay. So apparently, Nick says that he would put me in a full burqa because I am looking like this at the moment. Right now I look like this. So tell me, eventually you can tell me what I would look like, or quote unquote, if I should wear a burqa or not, or a full niqab. Anyway,
I would wear one and be like, "Hi guys, what's up? My name's Ninja Apostate."
oh no, you're ninja apostate. With you, I feel like you'd pretend to be a girl and try to be a thirst trap of sorts. So hello, dude abides. Hello, hello. So yeah, if
Happy
anything,
holidays.
happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and however, whatever holiday comes as well too. But speaking of the Christmas spirit, though, before I know we were doing scams last time, like religious scams, that is. We were gonna cover religious scams this week as well, and Nick found some interesting scams on the internet. But he also sent me something that Jesus can cure. I will show you what Jesus can cure.
Is it
So,
AIDS or leprosy?
if AIDS looked like darker skin, then yes. So I need to show you what you sent me. You, my dear boy, sent me this. Jesus can cure all sicknesses. All right, let's watch this. Why are you not working?
Allah doesn't want it to work. It's the will of Allah.
I know, right? I know. Why are you not working? Well,
Oh yeah, no, I was busy getting mugged last week, so
of
that's why I
course.
wasn't able to go on.
Of course, you were busy getting mugged last week. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, see? He changed his skin from dark to white.
It's a Christmas miracle.
He changes his skin from dark to white. Oh, hallelujah. So the
Hallelujah.
Oh, come on.
Hallelujah.
Oh, come on. Like, how is what is him changing?
Hallelujah. Amen. Paralokanlo na Prabhu ki.
Jeez, it's so weird. Also, yeah,
Paralokanlo na Tanri. Miyokugano ni Pampincheru.
what are you saying?
Oh, these are Christian prayers that they do in like Telugu
Oh,
churches.
really? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hi, Drastic. Yeah, I know this is gonna be our last show for the year, and we'll see you next year. Wink, wink. Um, but yeah,
You
hello,
won't
hello.
see us a whole new year.
Yeah. So basically, we were thinking we found a few more scams. That is, and this was related to a mortgage scam. That is, and this is interesting because there's a mortgage kingpin apparently. No, I don't want to deal with the cookies. So yeah, the trial begins for Omar Khaler, accused of pocketing millions in Sharia compliant mortgage. So, Nick, would you like to explain what a mortgage is if those who are unaware of what a mortgage is?
So basically, in order to buy a house,
Yeah.
you won't have, how would you say, $1 million. So a current house in Toronto costs on average $1 million. Now you don't have $1 million sitting in cash, right?
Yes.
You will go to a bank and say, my name is Nick. Nick, will place 5% down or 20% down in equity over this house and will pay you monthly payments for the remaining 95% or 80%, depending on whether you're a first time home buyer or not. And that additional loan that you're paying back monthly with I believe the current interest rate is around 6% in Canada, you now have a mortgage. Now, because this interest is set by the federal government, but it is also haram, you can no longer apply for this under Islam. So, what these Muslim mortgage companies will do is, let's say for $1 million you're paying a 6% mortgage. By the end of your 30-year, 50, either 15-year old term, or 15-year term, or 30-year-old term, for how
Yes.
many monthly payments you're making, you
Yes.
will pay approximately $1,200,000. So when one of these people will calculate that and will give you a loan, you will put up the 20%, which is $200,000, and you will make monthly payments until you pay them $1,200,000. So
Yes.
you're still paying the same amount as if you had interest, but they don't call it interest anymore. They just they say, oh no, you're not allowed to take out $1 million loan. You take a $1,200,000 loan, and you pay back that monthly. The monthly payments are the same. The amount is the same. Everything else is the same.
Yeah.
Now, what these other mortgage kingpins will do is, because they will they will also be contributing certain profits to their church, their mosques and such, which are funded by Saudi,
Yeah.
and they'll be hiding a lot of their tax benefits and getting more discounted rates as per. They'll still be considered credit unions. They'll still be considered banks, but because they're not in compliance with the Better Business Bureau or the Federal Reserve's interest amount in terms of what they're charging, they get into real shaky business there.
Yeah. Also, like drastic measure says, £1 million will get you a rat-infested one-bedroom flat with no toilet in London. These, yikes.
Yeah, do you know the apartments that, do you know, next to our friend's house where I told you I have a property?
Yeah.
Do you know on the other side of that road there's apartments, right?
Yes.
In those apartments, a 550 square foot apartment that I tried buying was 900K.
What?
Yeah.
And here in Zone One Drastic, try where I am, like Dubai, it says, can get 4 bedroom for 350,000, provided you 350,000 pounds, provided you can put up with the crime. So even with the crime rate, it's
So
like,
that's
oh,
around 600 K Canadian dollars, just for
yes,
your information.
around 600K Canadian. So yeah, like it's kind of crazy with the housing crisis and um, all that stuff. So given the situation, we have these mortgage kingpins like Umar Khalil and Yusuf. There's who provided Sharia compliant mortgages to Muslim homeowners in the GTA. So the GTA is the Greater Toronto Area. Were found not guilty of a dozen criminal charges in Ontario Superior Court on June 2019 after trial began in October 2018. They were on
But
trial
so
for
the reason why
12.
this scam is particular,
Yeah.
I'll explain, is in Canada, there's a way you can get a citizenship, which I think is absolutely fucking bullshit. If you're a foreign investor, you can bypass a PR status, a work visa, an F1 visa, your IELTS, everything you can bypass, and you'll directly get your citizenship if you're able to invest in a property in Canada.
Yeah, and also what's interesting, Kingsley led investigators on a treasure hunt for missing gold. Interesting. I want to see.
Yeah, so
There's
the
something with
reason
gold.
why this has increased, so this might be from 2019, it has increased in terms
Mm,
of Chinese scams and from
yeah,
uh Saudi as well, where a lot of people are trying to hide their drug money
yeah,
or oil money in
yeah.
Canada. They
Toronto, okay,
don't know a fucking word, and then they come here.
yeah, okay. Toronto businessman accused of pocketing millions in fraudulent mortgages marketed to Muslims emptied his accounts and led investigators on a treasure hunt to find nearly 2 million in gold bars. A federal prosecutor told the jury on Tuesday. 6 years later, where the bars have gone remains a mystery for authorities. Interesting. Crown attorney Damien Frost made his opening statement on the trial of America, dubbed the Muslim Madoff by homeowners who bought into his Sharia compliant mortgages that left them thousands of dollars in the hole. He holds a graduate diploma in business, was once admitted to a PhD program in economics, and has spoken at a number of international conferences on Islamic finance, once at Harvard University. The case we will present to you is about theft, fraud, and money laundering, Frost told the 12-member jury. So, prosecutors told a virtually empty courtroom that just days before Khalir's company, Financial, went into receivership, Khalir and Yusuf, who's 59, agreed to purchase $2 million in gold and silver bullion, bought with the last of the company's money. Panchbaya was a chairman of the board of religious advisors who issued fatwas sanctioning the business mortgages as Islamic. Khalir arrived alone Tuesday, wearing mostly black and a traditional cap, a poppy on the lapel of his jacket. For the most of the day, he sat listening intently as the judge instructed the jury to breaking his stoic expression for just a moment, looking bemused when a hunched over Panchbaya had fallen asleep. Now, Khalir and Panchbaya have both pleaded not guilty on the charges laid by the RCMP in 2014, which includes theft over $5,000, fraud over $5,000, and laundering the proceeds of the crime. And also, by the way, this is very difficult to prove as well, too, given that.
Isn't that something that Oh no, because it's over $5,000, you wouldn't be dealing with it, correct?
Yeah. I wouldn't be dealing with necessarily theft over 5,000. That's my field. I deal with theft under $5,000. That is. So those are the kind of crimes I would generally be, if I were hired as a criminal defense or prosecutor. I would be, dealing with those fields technically. But anyway, or mostly I'll be hired as defense. The case against it began in 2011 when some 180 homeowners were left in the lurch. That's when the Superior Court judge placed Financial into receivership after it emerged that mortgage payments that were supposed to be remitted to the Central One Credit Union were in arrears. Central One Credit Union had extended millions of dollars in loans to Financial since 2004. Man, this gets very so many layers. In the years leading up to the scandal, UM Financial had built up to an estimated $32 million portfolio that of what were billed as Sharia compliant mortgages. Some Muslim scholars hold that it is not permissible to charge or receive interest on loans according to Islamic law, and it isn't actually. At the time, the company boasted was Canada's premier Islamic financial institution, at one point working towards an application for a Canadian bank license, and was profiled on the business pages of some of the country's major newspapers. But while technically interest free, UM Financial charged a fee to its clients for its religiously sanctioned mortgages, a sum higher than what more borrowers would usually pay at market rates. So, what was the point then? You're still scamming them. Fast forward to 2014, 3 years after the fallout with Central One Credit Union, the RCMP would lay fraud charges against both Kalair and Panchbaya for allegedly pocketing $4.3 million in mortgage payments, as well as the purchase and disappearance of 32 kilos of gold bars. Jeez. Kalair would eventually disappear, leading police to launch a Canada-wide warrant for his arrest, according to the RCMP news release. He turned himself in on March 2014. Wow. This guy was in hiding. And outlining, go ahead.
So, so the dude about that asked this question. A mortgage is effectively a loan, so Sharia compliance would be effectively applied to all loans, including hire purchase.
And investment funds linked to government bonds would not be Sharia. Oh yeah, they're not Sharia compliant at all. So, but and it also depends on the school too. Like I know different schools have like different rulings, but it's the general rule. One second, let me just see. Uh, Hanafi school.
Because I assume if you're investing into mutual funds or GICs, or into GICs directly from your bank, they have to comply with the government bonds there. So ideally, your bank wouldn't be doing GICs
Yeah.
if
Again,
they're
let me show
Islamic.
you. Let me show you an article that I just. It was. I know the Hanafi school has a different view. Um, is riba? So it's. Someone asked this question on a forum. That is riba legalized by the Hanafi school for those who live in the West? As far as Islamic Sharia is concerned, it is not allowed for Muslims to deal with riba in a Muslim or non-Muslim country. However, this general ruling may have an exception in the case of necessity, and this state of necessity should be determined by a reliable Muslim scholar. So I think in this case, the case of necessity would be housing. In this case,
Ginny, I think, is a bit busy tonight, right, Moose?
yeah, Ginny's not. He told me he's going to be busy these 2 days, so 30, 31st. But he was definitely going to try to join us like in our next show. So yeah, Ginny was busy. No, Ginny was overall busy today. So, and also yeah, it's a bit late. I have a different schedule too. Like we have this time zone. Sorry guys, this is time zones and our lives too. My apologies for being all over the place. Um, but yeah, I consider so. Dr. Manzarkev, he has said, I consider any interest-based transaction by Muslim who live in Western countries forbidden by Sharia, and I'm not aware that the Hanafi scholars, classical scholars, allow such transactions. What is stated is attributed to classic Ahnaf is the issue of Dar al-Harb, abode of war, where properties are not protected. This argument does not apply to a Muslim minority who lives in Western countries, because they are not in the state of war with countries wherein they reside. Interesting. So there are some rulings in regards to Dar al-Harb, or the property of war. Um, what is left is only the matter of necessity and haja, considerable need. That includes many people on the basis of fatwa for buying houses for families that need purchase. Housing came from more than one source. I support this, but it does not apply to borrowing for the sake of making or expanding the business. Okay, so it's technically, you know, um, like in in technicality, I think for buying a house for Muslims living in Western countries, I think some scholar, like this scholar, agreed that okay, we can kind of permit this. We can permit this. So it's not necessarily haram by any means, but like but let's get back to the article that we were in. One second. So outlining, he purchased $2 million in gold bars and over 300,000 in silver coins, purportedly to pay the professional fees of Sharia scholars, chaired by Panchbaya. That's despite the fact for 6 years, 2005 to 2011, not a single invoice had been ever used for the religious advice, Forst told the jury Tuesday. Those precious metals would end up in the hands of an individual named Joseph Adam, the Crown said. Panchbaya designated Adam, the Sharia board's manager of finance, authorizing him to take possession of the gold and silver to be paid to unnamed clerics. Oh, yeah, this is a red flag right here. Red flag. Frost told
What
the
did I
court.
tell you? What did I tell you, Moose?
What did you
At
tell
the
me?
beginning. This is how they do money laundering to the
Mhm.
clerics.
The clerics, yes, the Malvis. And it's always an unnamed Malvi. Frost told the court Panchbaya returned the silver to the court-appointed receiver, Grant Thornton, that almost 2 million is still missing. If the convicted pair could face a maximum sentence of 14 years in prison. The trial continues. Again, I think the update was that they were found not guilty of dozen criminal charges. They were on trial, but let's see what happened. They were acquitted of all fraud and theft charges, but do they have any other charges against them, though? See here, laundering proceeds of the crime, violations under the Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act, and in the case that dates back to 8 years before, is an incredibly that involved a huge learning curve in Islamic finance. Oh Jesus, that this. Jesus, I hate this so much. What the fuck? Said in a written statement, this is, in my view, a victory for not only for myself but for the Islamic finance industry that actions we take due to our religion are accepted in certain courts. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
Oh, and to address Drastic's question this year, we're not sponsored by PragerU. We're sponsored by Israel. I just got my check for the new year.
No, what the hell? You got your check?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and
apparently there is a lot of transactions done in gold too from countries like Pakistan, India. Like people do transactions in gold. And
my professor was actually telling me in my MBA, according to his view, paper isn't real money. Gold is the actual real currency because in a lot of countries, ever since money's been discovered, gold's been what was used in the Federal Reserve as a comparison for what the other coins have in terms of value. So precious metals are essentially real currency. So I think a lot of people still use that as a valid way. Hello?
okay, I feel like, oh no, yeah, no, I'm kind of, I got a little distracted. I mean, I feel like this is such bullshit. You know, Calibri, if he was wrong in doing, they were honest but mistaken ones. Like,
Oh, and to address Diverdo's question here, I don't know the legalities of what would happen to the homeowner themselves because they would. It's the up to the licensed professionals to give them a proper loan, so they wouldn't be charged with any financial fraud or anything. They're the victims of this racket. But in
yeah,
terms
and
of what the policies were for the returning their money, Moose would have a better idea of that
yeah, I
as
think
compared to law
because
itself.
yeah, because what we're covering is a criminal trial. We're not covering the civil suit status because I feel like there has to be some civil suits that are probably taking place because even understanding the law was wrong in law, I find honestly He honestly believed at all times and had reason to believe that he was acting appropriately under the circumstances. Andreas Squirtle, I believe I acted in all times according to the law. I had consulted my lawyers at the time before paying the Sharia scholars. At worst, this should have been a civil matter. Sometimes I want to slap the judges. Sometimes I just want to slap the judges. I swear to God, man. I know there's no God, but I fucking like want to slap the judges. Sorry, here. I want you guys to like see my expression, like just this. This is
I
my
like how
expression.
you place the camera right under your titties.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my expression right now. So
I love how Moose isn't having any of my bullshit.
I know. No, I'm just so distracted by like how these two fuckers just got away with this. He's a religiously committed Muslim. It's not
If
about
you want to find those civil cases, we can probably go through because like the civil side would probably be more interesting for me at least, and
yeah,
how they were able to avoid that like
the criminal
claim of
charge.
the Islamophobia card that they probably were using.
We
Like, oh, you give.
probably played that. Yeah, finance. Uh, um, what's his name? Omar Khalil, right?
Yeah.
One second. Sorry, I'm just looking at the name again. Omar Khalil. Let me
I
show
hear
you
I
another
hear he's
article.
dealing with the bottom mill. He's been on Pierce Morgan recently, but racketeering charges take a long time to process. So
Who? Omar Khalil?
no, the top G, Andrew Tate.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't heard about him in the news recently, right? Yeah, right. He was charged with racketeering, right? So that charge takes a long time to process.
Yeah. Grant Thornton. No, I'm just looking at the uh yeah, I want to look into this more, because this is something like fishy. I smell a rat in this.
Yeah, human trafficking comes under racketeering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an overall charge of trafficking, essentially. Uh, er, so basically, if you have like goons, basically they're selling
Oh,
drugs on your behalf, trafficking, money
there's a
laundering, tax evasion.
you do have a class action against them apparently. One
Yeah,
second, let me show you the article. Okay, I was able to no, not racketeering. No. This is Andrew Tate. Oh, we're talking about Andrew
yeah,
Tate. Sorry, I was just so focused on
yeah,
the Islamic what do you call it?
yeah.
Let me show you what I
Mm,
just found. So this is a PDF file. It was posted by Muslim Credit Union Members.ca, and they said that a class action against Canadian convention. How will this reshape the Canadian Muslims have filed two separate class action lawsuits against conventionalists for damages incurred from an event involving halal mortgages over a decade ago, which roiled in the country's Islamic finance sector. So I feel like this the first lawsuit is currently pending, as it's against Central One Credit Union, and Yusuf Panjai is the person bringing Central One, among others, to court on behalf of homeowners who were once customers of UM Financial, a now defunct Canadian Islamic financial institution. The lawsuit alleges, among other things, that Central One, Credit Union Central, and CUCO Cooperative Association had failed to uphold the standard of care owed to the Canadian Muslim homeowners and discriminated against them. Central One has assets of 12.6 billion Canadian or US 9.4 billion at the end of September 2022, manages the liquidity of the British Columbia and Ontario credit union systems. counts over 300 financial institutions and 5 million Canadians as its clients. Yikes. The suit was also named accounting firm Grant Thornton, its former executive Mark Thompson, and former president as defendants. So even Grant Thornton's kind of involved in this. It accuses them of professional negligence and for breaching fiduciary duty and obligations when Financial was placed in receivership. Yeah, I feel like they would be liable for sure. For sure, they would be liable. The class action was filed by Omar Kalair, the former president and CEO, against Bank of Montreal, one of Canada's. Omar, the appointed representative plaintiff, is suing BMO for closing his bank accounts without proper cause. Oh, geez.
I love it when Dava apologists say the West is so corrupt and Sharia will sort it out. Not so much.
Yeah, I love how it initially caused a mess. This is an entire mess. Omar had initially filed this claim as an individual, but amended it to a class action to understand both legal actions.
Wait, what? So what was his class? Was his business a partnership or something, where the entire
all the partners, but you could establish a limited partnership though. But I feel like the way
I mean, like, in order, because if it was like a LLC or something, then we could have like one person and then the multiple shareholders also being a class. But in like, I don't see what the class is for him to be putting a class action.
Yeah. The industry, the case is a black mark in Canada's Muslim-friendly finance has been available since the 1980s. Yeah, so they have there's an entire article on this. I do want to see. This is some long ass stuff. I do want to investigate this a little more and get an idea of this, because this is
from 2023 February 8th, so this year actually.
Yeah, Omar's hope is that these class A would bring justice to these clients, and so Omar is now taking the side of the customers against the company. That's a bit odd. I do want to see how that happened. Okay, Islamophobia occurred here with. Oh my god!
Didn't I tell you?
When will regulator act in our own best interest in our governance? Astraz Bakshat SM wrote an email. Afraz was forced to sell his house in 2011 due to Financial entering receivership. Well, so there's two claims, that is. There's the Central One claim and BMO claim have yet to be certified as a class action, and Canadian action must be certified as a class action by judge before it can actually proceed. So this shit is going to take a while.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying, right? There's no way that we can. It's not a class.
Yeah, it has to be certified by the judge to see if it's even a class action. They're expected to move forward by the end of this year, according to Omar. There's a possibility they may not even be heard in court after being certified as a class action, and most class proceedings in Canada often settle out of court before actually going into trial. So this is going to be in December. This case was dismissed. Forwarded the request to Peter. Yeah, this is all like.
Oh, Moose, do you want to go to this money seminar?
No, fuck this. Actually, but it's already happened. It's already happened, boy. It's already happened. So if it was in 2024, maybe. Islam will be within financial institutions. It seems like a big mess. I feel like I didn't do this thing justice, because this seems fishy than it is on the surface. That's my overall opinion on this. I could be wrong though.
Considering the current world of the real estate market, I think Islamic financing for loans is definitely a topic we need to cover.
Yeah, I feel like there's more to the story, and the fact that they got off easy, to be honest. I feel like they got off easy, and this has happened to not just Islamic finance, but other financial scams have gotten off. Remember in the 2008 crisis, a lot of bankers got off easy too, right? So
I was telling that exact. You and I had that exact decision where the highest paid fine by some banker in Wall
yeah,
Street for 2008 financial crime was in the low million. Like, I think it was like 8 million or something,
yeah,
considering what they did to the entire market. And then Alex Jones was sitting there for like $1 trillion
yeah.
fine.
For I think it was, and it's funny too because with Alex Jones, the lawsuit is more to do with, I think it's a reputation, um, defamation, right?
Yeah,
And it's apparently in Canadian law, at least. I'm not sure about the U.S. In Canadian law, defamation has a higher reward in damages, even compared to sexual assaults. By the way, if you do a class action law, like a civil suit, like defamation has a higher reward, even against like financial crimes, everything. Defamation has a very high reward, which is even from some of my professors found that bullshit, to be honest. And yeah, like we said, it's Alex Jones is just a character. He's just a caricature at this point. So sure, he's spreading, like, he hasn't done that same damage as a banker does. But again, we're applying whataboutery, different situations, different laws. So it gets shit gets weird in that. But yeah, um, I wouldn't worry too much about Alex Jones personally. Um, the topic for suggestion: 2024 Islam in the Americas. You could look at it different countries, different episodes. Start with Canada, move to south to the US, Mexico, and keep going. Not much stuff on that. Yeah, they terrorized those poor Sandy Hook families, and Goldman Sachs had $1 billion fine reduced to. Oh yeah, considering they were a major player. Yeah, yeah. It was such bullshit, to be honest. It was complete bullshit. I saw the report. I was like, oh, what the fuck. But anyway, let's do another. Where did Nick go? Oh shit, he probably dropped out due to There he is. There he is. Damn it, Nick, come back. Come back. There we go. Okay, so we have another fraud case of, I think this is in regards to the health industry. And this one is is about the Farid Fatah Medicare fraud case. So this one, I think Nick sent accept cookies. This is an article in the US. So on July 10th, 2015, in a healthcare case, fraud case that U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuaid called the most egregious that her office had ever seen, Michigan oncologist Farid Fatah, MD, was sentenced to 45 years in federal prison by Judge Paul Borman of the U.S. District Court for the District of Eastern Michigan and ordered to undergo treatment for substance abuse. In addition, the court found that Fatah's crimes resulted in at least $17.6 million of payments for fraudulently ordered treatments, and Fatah agreed to forfeit millions of dollars in assets, much of it which will go to pay for restitution to former patients or their families. God damn. Fatah pled guilty in September 2014 to 16 federal charges: 13 counts of healthcare fraud, 2 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of conspiring to pay and receive kickbacks and cash payments for referring patients to a particular hospice and home healthcare company. Okay, when it comes to healthcare, it just disturbs me, like how far people can go. Nick, are you there?
yep, I'm right here.
Yeah. So apparently, what was this guy? You sent me the story. Who was this guy?
Dearborn, and basically, long story short, he was basically committing fraud and money laundering in terms of how he was providing care, especially in Dearborn, providing various how would you say, um, supplementations in his treatments.
Okay.
So because of that, and then also he had his best friends give, or he was sending his patients to his friends' hospitals and receiving commissions for that.
Effects. Yeah. Okay. So here, the basis for these fraud charges was Fatah's chemotherapy treatment of patients who did not have cancer or did not require treatment. Why does he need? Did they need chemotherapy? As well as excessive use of expensive supporting Medicare supportive care medications, which included hematopoietic growth factors, intravenous iron salts, and intravenous gamma globulin. I'm probably butchering these terms. In addition to these charges, the court found at sentencing that Fatah also mistreated patients with inappropriate parenteral vitamins, octoroid, and potent medics. What are these, Nick? You're in the health field.
So yeah, so they, like I mentioned, there are medications that patients didn't need or additional supplements that they don't need, which can cause other kinds of organ failures, especially with
Hmm.
people who might have cancer, which he was
Oh,
over-treating.
oh shit.
Um, and yeah, uh, he was charged with fraud for that.
Okay, the charges against Fatah included patients covered under Medicare, Blue
And
Cross Blue Shield, Health Alliance plan, and Aetna. So they were covered under all these plans. I was one of the expert witnesses who sorted through tens and thousands of pages of peritoneal evidence and testified in federal court in July 2015 on behalf of the government of the United States of America. We Farid Fatah. I can actually go through this. The Fatah case was my first encounter with the justice system. I had always envisioned that if I were ever to end up in a courtroom, effectively, that would be in support of a colleague, such as to defend another physician who made a difficult judgment call in a complex case that resulted in a poor outcome. The Fatah case changed that. So, when I was first approached by the government in September to review the cases related to developing oncology Medicare fraud case in Michigan, I was somewhat skeptical. Medicare rules for clinical coding and billing are notoriously Byzantine and arbitrary. I do agree with that.
because like
And
if you ever go to a hospital, like they'll give you like a super anal bill that'll
yeah,
be like, oh, your leg's broken. Here's $20,000 bill. Then you ask for an itemized bill or receipt, right? Then
yeah,
that 20,000 magically goes down to 10,000 because they charge you for 4 salines instead of the
yeah,
two that you took and such, right? So this guy was like, he was diagnosing, like, let's say they have a mole on their arm. A
yeah,
mole is technically a tumor. He would say, oh, this person has cancer, so I'm charging him for some samples.
yeah.
And because technically one of the, so metformin is actually a drug that's used for diabetes, early stages of diabetes, and
Yeah.
for women who want to get babies. So someone could just be infertile and taking one dose of metformin, but because their Medicare allows for certain passages, doctors will charge for 4 cases of metformin, saying that they have high sugar
Yeah.
content in their body. So that's kind of what he was doing, insurance fraud, but then also actually giving those patients the medicine.
Interesting. So it's a combination of both insurance fraud as well as um, like putting patients in danger, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like again, in simply put terms, I'm just saying in simply put terms.
And
And I
the reason
imagine
why
that,
this was relevant is because this is
yeah,
in Dearborn,
yeah,
and I couldn't find that exact document that went through the other stuff, but because in Dearborn there's already people who have a, which is also right next to Flint, people
yeah,
already have a shitty opinion of what the medical field is because Dearborn is a Muslim area. They have a lot
right.
of Muslim cupping doctors who ask you to drink camel urine. And this guy's
Really?
doing this shit. Yeah.
Oh
You
man,
didn't know,
what is?
you don't know how it goes in Dearborn?
No, I did not know of this. This is in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what is like? Why do they bring this medieval shit here into the modern world? Why? Ah, sorry. I'm having a few outbursts.
And
I apologize. Mm. Go ahead. I was just having a sip of my coffee. Sorry, I was just having a sip of my coffee.
Yes. So I'm just trying to find the article about that because I grew up in this area, right?
Yeah, that is so weird. That is so fucking weird.
Because the
Yeah, I
way it
agree.
goes,
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, finally a judge with some sense. Also, yeah, this is Goldman Sachs. Yes, and you can get out by filing. Oh, Alex Jones got a billionaire against him, something crazy like that. That was gonna take a lot of his super vitamin pill sales to clear. Yeah, yes, and a judge ruled that he can't get out of it for filing bankruptcy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get that's actually good. Like, it's sensible of the judge. Anyway, back to the Fatah case. Um, I imagine aggressively federal prosecutor trying to send a busy oncologist up the river for billing a few E5 evaluation management codes we had only checked off enough to review system. But when I reviewed the first few charts of Fatah's form, it became clear that what had occurred in his offices in suburban Detroit, Michigan, was far more troubling than simple overcoding. Fatah had 7 offices in eastern Michigan, and he owned an in-house chemotherapy pharmacy, a radiation oncology practice, and a diagnostic testing company with radiographic equipment that included a positron emission tomography scanner. He also directed his own cancer charity, Swan for Life. Oh, so he even had a charity. As a consequence of this practice model, there were incentives for Fatah to treat patients outside established oncology guidelines. Although such theoretical incentives may exist for many oncologists, Fatah actually acted on them. I reviewed more than 100 charts of the patients with cancer or alleged cancer whom Fatah treated. As I testified in federal court, I found that the patients who could have been simply observed instead of received years of chemotherapy and numerous costly supportive care medicines, with doses and infusion times administered in ways that maximize profit rather than the method supported by evidence. Yikes.
But
Yikes.
that goes for most doctors, right? They're like
Yeah.
treating cold. Yeah.
Among
I
the
mean, I wouldn't say
more
doctors, but pharmaceutical companies.
pharmas, yeah, pharma, not so much doctors. No, like at least with many doctors, they'll still give you a choice. Like, yeah, there's going to be effect, and then there's this um, the effect. Among the more than 60 patients I reviewed who were treated with azacitidine for myeloplastic syndromes, for instance, all I received all received doses on the basis of the manufacturer's vial size, presumed to maximize profit by not breaking into second vial and being unable to bill for the full vial, rather than the recommended doses based on a clinical trial data. A number of patients underwent positron emission tomography scans that they did not need. Oops. Whereas some patients did not receive inexpensive oral medications from which they could have benefited, but which would have not been profitable to Farah. Oh boy. Some patients received contradictory treatments from Fatah, such as parenteral iron followed by later phlebotomy or iron chelation. I'm butchering the shit. Therapy
Yeah.
and
So
other
basically, the one under it, if you look at it,
IVIG.
so sometimes if some of these treatments are given, you might get a allergic reaction, right? Because
Yeah,
because some tests, I'll give an example. If you have an MRI, it
yeah,
basically scans for the metals in your body. So if
yeah,
you're
yeah,
taking iron medication, then you go
yeah,
into an MRI, it's
yeah,
gonna hurt like fucking hell, right? So same way, so some of these can actually lead to anaphylaxis, and you know what anaphylaxis is, right? You know
What
when
is that?
someone's allergic and their throat goes all like numb and they can't
Oh,
breathe
yeah, yeah,
anymore
yeah,
and they
yeah,
need
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
EpiPen. That's what anaphylaxis is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That is messed up.
So this case was huge when I was there,
Yeah. And
and
this
it's
was
still
done by a
something that,
Muslim doctor too, in I think a
yeah,
Muslim area. You said.
yeah, in Dearborn.
Yeah. Okay. So such as some patients receive cure, and and others receive IVIG for low level immunoglobulin, uh, a, a level for which IVIG was not only ineffective but also contraindicated because of its risk of prophylaxis. Yikes. As a leukemia specialist, I was particularly disturbed to learn that patients with acute myeloid leukemia receive intensive combination of chemo in Farah's clinic, regimens that are dangerous to administer even in a hospital setting, yet were given in an outpatient clinic where Farah could bill for the drugs. Still, for other patients with solid tumors and received years of adjuvant therapy through published data support for months. Although its causality is difficult to prove, many of us experienced negative outcomes that could have been related to treatments they received. For instance, a patient was treated with zoderic acid for several years without clear, again developed as of the law, as in a 7th term treated as an outpatient, developed hospital. So yeah, FATA scheme began to unravel in July 2013 when a patient with monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance whom FATA had started to treat with
Oh, and yo, Moose,
was
I have the Ponzi scheme one also open as well. Do you want to try that one as
yeah,
well?
again,
Since
this one is
you're
very interesting. Very interesting, this
yeah,
one. But yeah, let's I know this is the
because
doctor
this is
channel.
related to that. Because this is also related to the EpiPen thing I was telling you about as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Remember? Because the EpiPen being a small sidetrack there.
yeah,
A normal amount of in surgery, a normal amount of epinephrine, a vial for a dosage costs $2.5 to get onto the tray, or at least that's what the hospitals buy them for bulk.
yeah.
Now,
Also,
an
his
EpiPen,
conclusion,
which is the same dosage, it goes up to $700 to buy at
yeah,
Shoppers Drug Mart.
and like he says in the day after I testified in the FATA, I returned to my leukemia practice. I visited my patients in the clinic. I was struck anew both by their desperation to get well and the trust they had placed in our healthcare team and our institution. Most financial crime is faceless. I wonder how someone could meet with patients and not think about how to respond to their needs with compassion and empathy, but about how to maximize profits. So, I feel like this definitely this healthcare specialist has a fucking heart, you know.
Yeah.
So, and again, yeah, we should change the title to "Fraud in Modern Islam." Yeah, we have a Ponzi scheme apparently of three Muslim men, 3 men accused of Sharia law Ponzi scheme.
The reason why
So
this one clicked, even though it's older, is that this is common in terms of practice for many Ponzi schemes
yeah,
based off of religion. So I
yeah,
thought this was a good template one
and this
that
is
we could
from
go based
yeah,
on.
this was reported by Thomson Reuters on November 17, 2010. So this was 13 years ago. So in Chicago, 3 men defrauded 300 Muslim investors and 3 banks out of $44 million in a real estate Ponzi scheme that promised profits, not interest, to adhere with Sharia law, federal prosecutors said on Wednesday. Oh dear, oh dear. I love how it say promise profits, not interest. Salman Ibrahim, Muhammad Akbar Zahid, 3759, claimed that Sunrise Equities Incorporated earned a monthly profits on real estate investments, not interest, in the alleged scheme that took in a total of $69 million from 2003 to 2008, according to a federal indictment unveiled by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago.
Moose, before we go any further, I think we got to explain what a Ponzi scheme is.
Okay, so a Ponzi scheme.
It's basically a form of fraud in which you're selling essentially a bridge in Brooklyn that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
There's
so
non-existing enterprise that doesn't
yeah,
exist, and you're selling that. It also
yeah,
works as a pyramid scheme
yeah.
as
It's
well.
a Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that pays existing investors the funds collected from new investors. So Ponzi scheme organizers often promise to invest your money and generate high returns with little to no risk. But in many of the Ponzi schemes, the fraudsters do not even invest the money.
The
So they're
investors are
kind of
the
like
customers there.
the investor is the customer, but you're using um, existing investors. You just pay them with new investors. That is. So it's kind of like and the thing is, it's very similar to MLM slash pyramid because it's at least the pyramid helps the investor get new, what do you call it? Um, you're in, like, you're not the investor. You're a business owner in what do you call it? The pyramid scheme. That is, the pyramid is, and MLMs are pretty much pyramid schemes, just legal pyramid schemes. So, you know, Karina from Chelsea School of Jurisprudence. Yes. So this is where, and the thing is, in the pyramid scheme, the product doesn't even exist. So, or even in MLMs, if the product exists, it's pretty bullshit, to be honest. And you're only selling it to new recruits. The recruits are your customer rather than, um, getting actual customers in the market. We'll do a few more episodes on those too. But Sunrise was not generating, and existing investors were being paid off with contributions from newer investors. Like I said, according to the indictment, so newer investors. So the newer the investor is, the more money you're gonna lose. Only the first few are actually gonna receive any benefit. Sunrise owners lured hundreds of Pakistani American Muslim investors in Chicago and around the United States with promises of annual returns of 15 to 30% that they claimed were compliant with Sharia or Islamic law, according to the indictment. This is the first time in Chicago that an alleged fraud scheme has been uncovered that used a pillar of Islam to induce potential victims to invest their funds, Robert Grant, the FBI's top agent in Chicago, said. Some investors were persuaded to refinance their homes and sink the proceeds into Sunrise, according to the indictment. Oh, man. The accused made allegedly false statements about their net worth and about planned real estate projects to secure $29 million in bank loans from Mutual Bank, Cold Taylor Bank, and Devon Bank that were not repaid, according to the indictment. Some of the funds were used to operate a motorcycle parts manufacturing company in Pakistan. What? A gas station in Chicago suburb, and a medical equipment sales company in Chicago, the indictment said.
These are the most brown businesses I can think of.
This is such a stereotype. Yo, Nick, this is why guys like us don't get a bad rap, yo. Or the guys like us
Yeah,
are sexy.
I'm surprised Hijab and Hali Dava haven't started one of these yet. They
Yeah, I
have don't they
know.
have that mosque in Norway they've been building for the last 20 fucking years?
I don't know, man. Like, they've been asking for funds. I still receive ads for those mosques in
Hey
Norway.
you, yes you, give me money instead of giving it to poor people so I can build a mosque and convert more
No,
people.
we'll play that ad in a bit. Let's finish this article. We'll play that ad in a bit, actually. A gas station in Chicago suburb. Oh my God. Other funds went to build a home.
And I wonder if they have Pakistani employees there.
Yeah, of
Your
course
people.
it's going to be a very, very sketchy place in Pakistan for sure. Other funds went to build a home and an Islamic school, pay for leases on personal cars, make home renovations, and pay off a defendant's mortgage. Ibrahim and Zahid were each charged with 7 counts of fraud and 1 count of bank fraud. They are believed to be living abroad and are being sought, authorities said. Each count of fraud or bank fraud carries a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison and $1 million fine on conviction. A third owner of Sunrise, Amjad Mahmood, 47, whose title was Senior Vice President of Construction, was arrested and charged on 1 count of conspiracy to commit mail, wire, and bank fraud. The charge carries a maximum penalty of 5 years and $250,000 fine. I wonder what happened to Ibrahim and Zahid. I really wonder. I'm going to have to look into what happened after. So this was very interesting. That we had a Sharia Ponzi scheme, that is. So, it
Because
was.
the reason why this was interesting for me, at least, to cover for a future topic is because this goes down the rabbit hole of Kenneth Copeland and other mega churches that do these kind of Ponzi schemes for like seed faith, right?
Yeah. I know what you mean. 1 second. Let me find that hijab video actually for, um, that the mosque in Norway. I think Drastic has probably done something too on Muhammad Hijab's Like,
I wonder if they build a kitchen to cut the heads of the infidels.
boy, I'm gonna kill you, boy. Muhammad Hijab, Norway.
Only Big Daddy Muhammad Hijab's allowed to kill me.
Oh, this is from Muhammad Hijab's. Oh my god. I'm gonna share this video, and he's revealing where it like. So this is what Muhammad Hijab has done. Like, Drastic, do let us know what he's done.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? For some time, we've been raising funds for this center. This center in Norway, which is meant to be both a masjid and dawah center. I've come here to see where your money has been spent. Fahad, how are you?
Assalamu
How are you doing, brother? You okay? Good to see you, my
good,
friend.
mashallah,
Oh my God, I love the shirt. I love the jumper.
Barakallah
Fear of God, huh?
Yeah, we
You're
need
gonna
to
put the
have
fear of God on you.
I love how it's like a NBA, which is a copper league, by the way, of like men playing in less.
Apparently Drastic did a reaction to this exact video. Hey,
Oh,
Drastic,
yeah?
do you want to come on? I'll put the link in
Yes,
the chat.
come on, Drastic. 1 second, let me just put the invite.
Oh, I just did.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. No, Drastic, do come. I wanted to see.
To the right place.
Alhamdulillah.
What is this thing?
So first of all,
Yes.
welcome to this place.
Well, thank you so
this
much.
will inshallah be the biggest of this kind,
Yes.
of its kind Islamic center in the
He's
country
had
of
a few
Norway.
drinks, so he can't.
Maybe in Scandinavia.
I mean, this.
Inshallah.
Yeah,
So
that's okay. That's okay. Take your rest, Drastic.
all of this area here will be the masjid. So we need to
Wow.
build the mihrab over here.
And this is
Still raising funds for the
April 2nd, 2023. And how long has they been asking for funds for this?
carpets.
Years.
etc.
Yes.
So this area, I think we could have maybe 500, 600, 700 people praying here. Inshallah.
Really?
Yeah, Allah Akbar.
That's amazing. And Oslo is a very expensive city anyway. So for you to be able to establish that with the funds of these people here, that's a major accomplishment, isn't it?
100%, bro. And this is one of the most expensive cities in Europe.
Yeah.
And it's also the fastest growing city in Europe.
Even in the world, I think, Oslo.
Yeah, maybe. Could be.
Yes.
SubhanAllah. So, Jazakallah khair for all of your kind donations.
Yeah.
With your donations, alhamdulillah, we've been able to.
Yo, I need to
establish
see the
this
comments on
huge-
this video. I need to see the comments.
These comments?
Yeah, I want to see if they.
So happy, tears and stuff. No, keep in mind he deletes a lot of negative comments though. So his team does not promote it only promotes positive comments. Like I've actually.
What about that one there? Amazing project. You go slightly higher.
I live in Scandinavia. I would love to see this in my. I feel like it's a bit unclear to what is happening actually. I'm not asking this thinking about donations part or to be convinced with, but I'm really hoping for this center to be finished. I was expecting a more detailed information about estimates, however long into the future they might be of the projects that were described there. Is it still far off? Norway is immensely expensive, so it's understandable that it might go slow. But I really want to know when the center might be fully built. Maybe a bit more detail on this. This is a good question, actually, because it's more, marketing, I would say.
Yeah.
Premise, and we still imagine every single time someone prays in this masjid, 5 times a day the prayer will be established, inshallah ta'ala. And you guys would be getting the reward for that, for all of your kind donations. Allahu Akbar.
Let's go to the next part.
Yeah, sure. Bismillah. So over here, inshallah ta'ala, we intend to build a wall. So you can open
You
up.
sound like Donald Trump. Yes, it's got a great wall there. Go on, tell me more.
So this wall, inshallah, we'll be able to close it when there's no.
Yeah, you said something.
I sound like Joe Biden.
Oh my God.
Anyways, yeah.
Jum'ah, for example, when
you wouldn't even be able to laugh, Nick.
What?
the Jum'ah will just open it up.
Wow.
So you can have
it's beautiful, spacious.
Big. Yeah. Otherwise, this area will be our main conference hall. This is where you will be coming and teaching the people, educating them about the Deen of Allah.
Wow. And you know what's beautiful is that the volunteers have come for the earthquake situation in Turkey and Syria.
Yes.
And this is being made use of. This area is being made use of. Look, you can see here women's jackets, men's jackets, and so on.
Alhamdulillah, we actually
People
had
using- yeah.
Women's jackets.
3
Can't they
containers
just
have
say
been sent out.
niqab?
I know,
Well-
but like in Norway, it's gonna get cold as fuck.
Ready to Syria, and
Ready.
3 containers are being filled up right now to be sent to Syria.
So
Allah
it's amazing. People, inshallah, will be getting the rewards for that as well. Let's go ahead and see the next part
Yeah,
of
let's
this.
see the wudu facilities. Inshallah.
Wudu facilities. Let's see. Is it this way? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Well,
Bismillah.
What's the music in the background?
I hate it.
All of this area over here, including this space here
Yeah.
and this space here,
Wow.
this will become the wudu facilities. So obviously we need to rebuild this whole thing. And subhanAllah, every single time someone makes wudu here, and the droplets are falling off,
Wow.
the sins of
Yes.
of those Muslims will be falling off, and you guys
Yes.
who have been supporting this cause will be
Huh? So your sins are washed off when you do wudu?
getting that ajr.
Anyway,
Wow.
distractive. But yeah, also, they haven't even started with the washrooms yet. What the hell? Like, you should already be starting with the washrooms. Like, that's not a good sign, because with the wudu, like we show in our intro video, like you have to have like a properly built, like for both the feet and the hands, that is. And
Yeah.
like you have to, like there's a full like proper wudu sink, that is. Like you can't do it on a sink. You have to do like a proper setup. And also you need washrooms too, because sometimes you need to go. You need like more washrooms if you're going to accommodate a lot of people. You're going to need big washrooms. And I've seen some big washrooms too, like, and you have to attach like the bidet type of Muslim shower, that is, to wash your butt too. So that's gonna be a lot of. That's gonna be a long project. It's damn it, drastic. No, let's not make this a reality, please. This is a Saw franchise. Too many prayer breaks. Yeah. Also, like, let's continue.
Oh, wow. And this is amazing, because this is like, as you say, it's not just a dawah center. You have a masjid here. So you're doing all, and to be honest with you, I'll be honest. One of the things I fear, one day if we're all dead or cancelled or whatever it may be, that our sadaqah jariyah will not continue. That's it. But by putting money and time and effort into a place like this, then our sadaqah jariyah will continue. As the Prophet told us, that basically,
Can you like not speak in Arabic half the fucking sentence?
I know, but it's like sadaqah jariyah is basically like the reward for your sadaqah, right? Like the sadaqah, which is your donation, that is. The rewards from Allah, the points from Allah, that is. So I want to see sadaqah jariyah is a better. I want to see if there's gift of benefits to others in this life. Yes. So that's what you call a sadaqah jariyah. But like, yeah, he spoke in complete Arabic.
All of this, child of Adam's sins will be interrupted except for 3 things. And one of those 3 things is sadaqatun jariyah, a continual charity. Now, this is in progress, isn't it, Fahad? This thing is, and they're doing great work.
Yeah.
And we're saying, continue doing the great work. We're almost done. We're almost done, at least.
You haven't even started
Almost.
washrooms. You haven't even started with the washrooms. What the hell? And again, I'm not even a Muslim and I'm pissed off at the washrooms. Sure, it's a clean washroom for public standards, but you need to kind of expand this shit, no? Like, make a wudu place and a separate sink. Like, if you use the washrooms, make a separate sink area. Then you have to, make like proper toilet areas too. You have to kind of expand your washroom and start building this shit. You haven't even started that. Almost done.
This section here is going to be complete very soon, and we do need the hard work and donation from you guys and the persistence. And
I love how he says very soon. They haven't even started yet.
As well. So make sure to click the link below and let's make this project a reality.
Drastic measures. Okay, Drastic, you did a reaction to this. Where are you, Drastic Measures?
Oh, all of those are drastic measures video.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like you have done a lot of
Muhammad
uh
Hijab.
yeah, a lot of Muhammad hijab.
Drastic, I got a question for you. How did you not die of cringe watching all these? Hey, there's Afif.
Where?
Oh, there's a video with Afif.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my god, I'm family.
Man, there's
Well,
all
check his playlist on
playlists. All right, let's
playlist and then go to Hijab.
okay, Muhammad hijab playlist. No, don't open, just start. Yeah, he uses their rage and beg for attention. Plays the race card in South Africa. E-begging and thuggery. Is this Salafi style? Is this the
No,
one? E-bugging and thuggery?
no, you
Uh,
gotta keep going down. He does it a lot, right? So
yeah, it tries to defend slavery. Will be remembered. Fake conversion. And encouraging Muhammad is still begging Douglas Murray. Burning Quran helps raise money. Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Assalamu alaikum.
No. What the fuck? Give to Jesus. What are you laughing at, boy?
oh no, I'm thinking the torture drastic had to go
Hey
through.
everyone, hope you're all doing well and enjoying.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
this is it.
Yeah,
is
this is the one. We went to, and I think you also, yeah, you covered both Hamza's Den and Muhammad Hijab. So I was aware of this e-begging now because it was recommended to me. Just only a small few bucks to them and some other e-beggars. Message may help the spread of Islam, inshallah. What other reasons?
There should be one where I actually had a back and forth with someone.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. The worst about these is all the e-begging with absolutely no auditing or transparency. You have no idea how much money they're actually collecting, where it is going, and why does gagging every time they speak Arab? I feel like sometimes they do that on purpose to like hide what they're actually saying, you know? And also, by the way, in terms of like receiving donations, and I've actually been a volunteer with different mosques too in the past. It is essential for a mosque to be transparent with their auditing. It is so crucial because when you were like I was part of there's one of the mosques I won't name in what do you call it oh yeah, it's in Toronto basically. So it's Mississauga, Toronto area, and it's a Shia mosque, by the way. So it's again Kafir mosque. Let's face it, it's a Kafir mosque. That Kafir mosque, poor little Kafir mosque, literally, not only they registered themselves as a charity, they actually put their donations, like what they received, what they spent on, they actually put that on a sheet on a wall to show you how much they collected and what they're doing and how they're expanding. Sure, and they're saying, yeah, we're expanding it slowly via a mortgage. They had to take a mortgage for that. So that is the level of, I was impressed with their level of transparency, that how much they collected.
But they're, as you know, they're all going to hell because they're being transparent.
Well, that and also they're going to, poor guys are going to probably go to hell because they're Shia, according to Muhammad Hijabi fanboys. So, and this is a Shia mosque doing it, by the way. So, you know, it like, and also like you have to have what do you call it?
What the hell, my phone?
Yeah, you have to have like proper auditing, like even, and that's a small mosque, by the way. It's not even a big mosque; it's a small mosque. And they have all the sheets, the editing, like their website too, which needs updating, personally speaking. But at least they have like their finances like covered. Oh yeah, this is your video reaction. By the way, if you want to watch the video reaction, to this, 1 second, sorry.
So yeah, I think 1 second. Sorry, guys. So what do you call it? Nick, are you there?
Yep. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So I think we will wrap up right now because I have to be somewhere. My apologies. It's going to be a short episode. Um, so what I'll do is, well, I want to hear your final thoughts. That is.
So yeah, this was my initial research for a lot of scam-based presentations I'm making for the future of Gin and Tonic as
Yeah.
well. That during my hiatus, I came up with a lot of information. So if this was an interesting topic, I got a lot of evidence for a lot of scams that were
Actually,
based off of religious
yo,
motives.
I forgot. Wanna
Yeah,
quickly go over this one?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's quickly overgo this one. How Obamacare enabled a multi-billion-dollar Christian healthcare cash grab. Sorry, guys. I know I'm a bit. So, capitalizing on the pressure to pass Affordable Care Act, a conservative lobbyist created an exception for faith-based healing coverage, opening the door for bad actors. Oh boy. So, healthcare sharing ministry, which is described in Section 501. So, this is the members of which share a common set of ethical or religious share medical expense among members with those beliefs, without regard to the state which member resides or is employed. So Joe Garano rescued an entire industry with the help of somewhat so-called divine intervention. A little-known lobbyist from Virginia, Guarino was hired in 2007 by the Alliance of Healthcare Sharing Ministries, the trade association for nonprofit alternatives to medical insurance founded on Christian principles. Oh boy, this is not going to go well, is it? Healthcare sharing ministries taking fees from members and then are used to pay other members' health bills. At the time, the industry had been tainted by a scandal involving one of the largest ministries in the country, the Christian Brotherhood newsletter, based outside Canton, Ohio. State authorities won $14 million in civil judgments against two of its top leaders for enriching themselves instead of paying medical bills of this member. Oh, Jesus. Literally, oh, Jesus. A ProPublica investigation last month revealed many of the Brotherhood's executives, including Daniel J. Beers, were involved years later after launch of the second scandal plague ministry, Liberty Health Share. The Washington-based alliance was looking to Guarino to repair the industry's reputation and pass laws to fend off a looming movement to regulate the business. Of course, they're going to do that. The lobbying effort is an example of how the ministries have quietly worked over the years to shield themselves from consumer protection laws and preempt government oversight. And yeah, this is the shit why they're like, oh, there should be no government intervention. Bullshit. Get the we need some government intervention in this. Guarino decided to launch a state-by-state campaign to pass so-called safe harbor laws that exempt healthcare sharing ministries from insurance regulation. Oh, this is not going to go well, is it? The carve-outs were justified, the alliance argued, because ministries don't set prices and coverage based on risk calculations or pool people's money, as insurance companies do. In the United States, many of the rules for health insurance are set by the states which the companies operates. Guarino met with lawmakers in Virginia, Arkansas, and Idaho. Most of the time, I was hiring local lobbyists, training them, and then they got the bills to pass for us, Guarino explained. Although it did not attract much attention, the campaign was a remarkable success. By 2008, 15 states had passed safe harbor laws. Then a new threat emerged. In 2009, Barack Obama proposed his sweeping reform of the healthcare system. Central to the law was a provision referred to as the individual mandate, which required that every American obtain health insurance or face a fine. The mandate presented a direct threat to healthcare sharing ministries. If members were forced to buy insurance, they would likely leave en masse. Although this is a huge hurdle, by the way. Although Guarino was embarrassingly outgunned by the health insurance lobby, he was determined to slip some version of a safe harbor carve-out into whatever the Democratic-controlled Congress handed the president. I went and saw 150 congressional staffers during the time, Guarino said. The turning point came when Guarino reached out to the GOP state legislators in Iowa and asked if she could put him in touch with the Republican Chuck Grassley, the state's longtime senator, who wielded power as a member of the Senate Finance Committee. The lawmaker had known Grassley's family since childhood and agreed to set up a meeting. Lo and behold, what happened? Guarino said, as a Christian, I look at this and say, oh, this is God's way of orchestrating things. Cringe as fuck. Guarino told ProPublica that he and his clients got on the phone with Grassley. Together, they crafted an amendment to Obamacare that exempted members of sharing ministries from having to obtain health insurance on religious grounds. Of course they fucking did, of course. Behind the scenes, Grassley got to carve out into the state version of the bill, Guarino said. The passage of Affordable Care Act was chaotic, and for ministries, that was fortuitous. The House version, in which many Democrats preferred, didn't include Guarino's exemption. If the House bills prevailed in negotiations between two chambers, ministries would be extinct. But with the sudden death of Senator Ted Kennedy, Democrats lost their filibuster-proof majority in the Senate and could not pass the House version. They were forced to go with the Senate bill that included the carve-out, of course. Fuck. The exemption, just 200 words in a 900-page bill, survived tense negotiation between the chambers, going virtually unnoticed. Obama signed the ACA into law in March 2010. That's our language or right in the bill, Guarino told ProPublica. One friend told him that he had just saved an entire industry. The larger Christian health care share community hailed it as a miracle. If you're a person of faith, blah, 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 then CEO of Medishare, and of course he's a CEO, and groups that formed Alliance Healthcare Sharing Ministries. MEG's estimated membership grew tenfold after 2014 when individual mandate went into effect. 4 years later, the Alliance announced that about 1 million Americans belonged to its member ministries. Some brought into the ministries because they disliked Obama and associated him with the law. Others did it for economic reasons. And usually this is definitely the case. The ministries offered cheaper plans than insurance sold on ACA marketplace that were expensive for anyone who did not qualify for subsidies such as Medicaid. Many self-employed people and small business owners fell into this category.
So, Moose, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on private health or like getting health care or government mandated health care?
I would put like healthcare insurance should be government covered for the entire public. Like the United States is fucking behind on this. Similar to what we have in Canada, that is, if you're aware, overall. But yeah, no, let's finish this article because I have to head out in a bit. All of a sudden, people started getting religion because they could save $700, $800 a month, which is interesting, just for financial gain. They believe that most healthcare sharing to do right by their members, it's unethical, but both acknowledge the industry has been vulnerable to abuse. Obviously, that kind of growth is going to attract bad actors. One of the people who took advantage of the opportunity is Beers, the patriarch of the family that started Liberty Health Share just as Obamacare's individual mandate drove thousands of people to healthcare share ministries. The ProPublica investigation found that Beers acts as a shadow lord over an empire built with money from Liberty Health Share. Some of the family grew rich while Liberty's members were left with tens of millions of dollars of unpaid bills. Holy fuck. Beers' name did not appear in any official documents related to Liberty, and he denied involvement in the family businesses that profited from the ministry. Attorneys representing Beers and members of his family also disputed ProPublica's finding that they controlled or influenced the sharing ministry or did anything wrong. Liberty is now under new management and does not include Beers or his relatives. For those in the ministry industry, our Beers involvement has been an open secret for decades. Really. Meg's told of a surprising encounter he had around 2014. All key figures of the Brotherhood, the group wanted to propose a partnership, which was experiencing explosive growth. So at the meeting, Beers was clearly in charge. Megs remembers, so no matter what they were selling, he wasn't buying. Liberty said he looked too much like the Brotherhood. So, like, this was basically like the ministry kind of made an exception, that is, for like, you know, people belonging into a particular Yeah, the reason, there's also the Obama becoming, there was secretly a Muslim. Yeah, this was also very popular too, because his name is Barack Hussein Obama, and like it was proven false because he even proposed bombing Mecca and Medina in one of his speeches. Yeah, it faded after years of drone striking Pakistan. Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, Nick, this was an interesting scheme as well too, which used what was supposed to be an exemption for members of a particular faith, such as Christianity, and then got abused. So this was, but at the same time, I find like the entire system very sketchy. But what do you think?
There's a lot of scams out there, and religion's at the core of a lot of them, or at least cult-like behavior. And I personally want to take it as a challenge to research as many of them as I can
Yeah,
and present them.
yeah, like we covered the Sharia Ponzi scheme. We covered like the mortgage scam, which they got acquitted for. There was also the mosque, the mosque that we covered with Muhammad Hijab, that there was no there's a lack of like transparency. And then now we did a Christian version too. So I know in one of the future episodes, I'm definitely doing the Mutta marriage scandal, which became a sex trafficking scandal. And like I said, I wanted Ginny, I wanted you there because we will have like a viewer's discretion is advised kind of thing. I know I want to do this episode, and it deserves an episode of its own because I need to explain what a Mutta marriage is, or how a Mutta works, what are the laws behind it, and how it's being abused, and what's the and if it's seen as halal. Anyway, to wrap it up, Nick, do you have any final words?
No?
All right,
No,
all right.
I'll
But
see everyone on Discord.
yeah, see Nick on Discord. I won't be there because I will be heading out soon. But anyway, take care, everybody. Have a good evening. Happy
See
holidays.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's declare war on Christmas.
Oh, and I'm going to say bye now, but you're coming over to my place tomorrow.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know because I do have an event to go to in Toronto. So that's a maybe, but I might invite you into Toronto.
Sure.
Yeah. So I might text you to come join me. All right. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.